Uh-oh. Okay, we did it. So that's it. We did it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to TNA Top 10. You notice the T is missing. Dad gave us the keys to the house, and we've already screwed up. So Terry will be joining us shortly. He has a soccer game, for Cyrus, and it is scheduled late. So he said to proceed without him, which again, Dad is not here. We're gonna have a really good time till he gets here, and we're gonna have a better time when he's gonna be drunk and everything. Look at Alex Wheaton already in the chat. Alex, nice to see you. Of course, I'm Andrew. This is Allison. We're AA, and no, that's not Alcoholics Anonymous or
Arn Anderson.
But we do have an exciting lineup. We got 2 hours tonight, Allison, scheduled. Yes. Olympics first, and the ACC plus Notre Dame second. Yeah, and we might get a special run in. We might not. Who knows? It depends on if his wife says it's okay or not. Because we love her more than we love him. And yes, I just said it out loud. But anyway, how have you been this week?
So I am on vacation, as y'all know. So hi from vacation. I would be better if it stopped raining and stopped being 1,000 degrees. But, you know, other than that, I'm on vacation, so who's complaining?
So what Allison didn't tell you all is she is in vacation in Virginia, which is one state north of me, and it's humid, it's hot, it's August, and by the way, there's a tropical storm headed this direction, landfall Florida Monday afternoon, going to hit North Carolina come Wednesday, Thursday. We're going to have a rain event, so it's going to be really exciting. Anybody listening to us, hey, be safe. Seriously, if you're in the Southeast, this hurricane, it will be a hurricane. It's a tropical storm right now. Debbie, not does Dallas, but she's doing the East Coast, and that's Debby, not Debbie. But Deborah, Big Deborah, as I call her, not Little Debbie, once that storm hits the Atlantic Gulf, and it's 90 degrees right now. Average water temperature in the Gulf right now is 90 degrees. That's very hot. So once it hits that Gulf, Heather's here. Hey, Heather. So
hi, Heather. Thank
once
you.
It hits the Gulf Stream, and now it's going to churn up and it's going to become a hurricane. They're expecting it to stall over Georgia, which isn't good for us here in North Carolina, because as it stalls, the outer bands continue to soak us. And so we'll keep an eye on it, but everybody be safe if you're here in the Southeast the next few days. The hurricane is coming, the tropical storm, rather, whatever you want to call it. West coast of Florida up through Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. But there's also something else going on. Speaking of hurricane, Allison, what about the American Olympic team just dominating it? They have really put the pedal down now. Go ahead, ma'am. This is your thing.
So all right. You know, I love the Olympics. I love sports in general, but this has been insane. This has been an insane run. We have seen some athletes who are just exceeding all expectations. No question.
World records being broken. And
absolutely.
I mean, big time.
Big time. So, like, for example, Simone Biles, I mean, there's only one word to describe her. Dominant. She is the second gymnast ever to win back-to-back all-arounds, which, I mean...
The last time it happened was either the 60s or 70s. So you're talking 50 to 60 years ago was the last time there was an all-around champion in back-to-back Olympics.
Yeah. And I know we don't have this in our notes, but I would like to give a special shout-out to the Women's USA rugby team. I have watched a couple of different sports, but I was obsessed with the rugby team. I believe her name is Alona. I now follow her on social media. She is hysterical, and I love it. I love everything about her. She's doing the Olympics right. She's having a good time, meeting everybody. That's the other thing. They're all meeting so many people inside the Olympic Village and outside. I think I saw a video of people meeting Tom Brady, meeting Mariska Hargitay from Law and Order. Like, that's nuts. But back to the Olympics.
Benson,
Olivia Benson. Why don't you talk about the swimming? Because I know you love the swimming.
Well, first thing about Simone Biles. Okay, I hadn't been able to watch as much Olympics, um, but I caught the all around her all around her finish, and when she jammed it at the end, it was ball game. She knew
Yeah.
that she won the all around. She knew that she won, and when she hit it, it was it's that thing. Baseball players do it a little bit when they hit that home run. They know they hit the sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
When you're watching football from the sideline and you see the big play, you know that it happened. But when Simone Biles stuck the
Oh
landing on
yeah.
the last piece of the floor routine, she knew she had that flag ready, and her teammate took first and third, and the Brazilian took second.
Yeah,
But
the Brazilians were excellent.
when she stuck it, I mean, she stuck, and there was this face that was just, I don't want to call it like a resting bitch face, but
Mm-hmm.
it was pure concentration. And she was going to go prove she was the best in the world, and she did. Um, Katie Ledecky, speaking of best in the world, Ledecky, however you say it, 10 seconds, 10 seconds faster than the next person en route to winning another medal. And then, of course, her ninth gold medal, four straight 800 meters. Unheard of, never done before. So, like we said, this Olympic team, even though the United States is tied with gold medals right now, they will pull ahead. They're up 71-45 against the next person in the medal count. But Ledecky, another great showing. Four consecutive Olympic games where she wins the gold in the 800 meters, never done before.
That's amazing.
Um, and then we're back to gymnastics. What about Steven on
Oh,
the pole
okay.
vault?
He's the Clark Kent of gymnastics. Okay? He takes those glasses off. The best was, I think it was the pommel horse,
Yeah,
where he just dominated. And then
his
he puts
only
his
event.
glasses on. Yeah, and then he puts his glasses on, and you're like, you're the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's blind apparently without them. But when he put those hands on the pommel horse and it was time to go for whatever it is, 90 seconds, 2 minutes,
Yep.
whatever it is, it's not very long. He jammed it again, and for the first time in 16 years, the men's Olympic team, thanks to his performance, wins a bronze medal. But they haven't medaled in men's Olympics in 16 years, four
Wow.
tries. So big deal for him. And I mean, and then he went and he got an individual medal. He got a bronze in the event, but that's all he does. And
Yep.
he waited all day long. And again, like Simone Biles, like Ledecky, when he finished that routine and he stuck the landing, he did the handstand, the one arm
Yep.
over on the horse, and he stuck the landing. He knew that he just won.
Yeah. No
And it
question.
was again fantastic. Team USA basketball. We don't call them the dream team. There was
No,
only one.
there's only one.
But this team won by 20 or 30 the other night. They're the number one seed in the pool play. They beat 3-0 pool play. And then for a little levity of the show, French pole vaulter Anthony Amirardi
Oh, Lord.
has gone viral because he apparently is packing, and said unit knocked the pole that he was supposed to clear on his way down, and homie lost a medal over being gifted. So apparently he needs tighter pants. I don't know,
I
something.
mean,
Put that thing away. But cost him an Olympic medal. Somebody,
he.
the best comment I saw on it was, "Here comes OnlyFans."
Hey, look. I mean, if there's something to go viral for, let it be that.
Let it be
All
that,
right.
and that is what he said. Um, but no, the Olympics are still going on. What, we got another week,
Yeah.
10 days, something,
I think another week.
another week. So we'll continue our coverage of the Olympics. We hit the high points we know. My little favorite guy, Tom Daly, the diver, he came back, dived for the kids, second place, but he's not American. He's Great Britain. So, but he and his partner, diving partner, fantastic. The kids were there. His husband was there. The whole thing.
I love that.
And I like him because he was 13 years old in his first Olympics. And
Wow.
he's 30, but he was 13 years old when he competed in the first dive in the Olympics, and he medaled 5 times now. He has Man, so one of those stories where you just keep following them. It's
Mm-hmm.
like Simone Biles,
Yeah.
27 years old, 9 gold medals, arguably the greatest world gymnast in American Olympian history, maybe globally.
Yeah.
But we're going to switch gears a little bit for now. And Steve Mongo McMichael, many of our fans are familiar with, or listeners, watchers, because of wrestling.
Correct.
Member of the Four Horsemen. He had the Mongo spike. He wore the Bears jacket in the '85 ring. But
Mm-hmm.
Mongo was inducted into the Football Hall of Fame last year, or last night, excuse
Last
me,
night.
this past weekend, whatever. He got the gold bust. And here's my problem with this: they
Yeah.
did it from a hospital bed.
Yep.
He's in a hospital bed. He's intubated. The man can't speak. He has ALS, which is a god awful, horrible, horrible disease. The man might be 150 pounds. Peak defensive tackle for the Bears, weighed in at 275. So just a shell of what he used to be. Here again, though, here's my problem with it. Steve McMichael checked every box for a very long time to be a Hall of Famer
Mm-hmm.
prior to his ALS diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't think a Mongo speech for a Hall of Fame induction would have been fun? And he didn't get to thank anybody. He didn't get to tell stories of his training or his teaching. Didn't get to talk about Ditka or the rest of the monsters of the Midway. And that's important for people in sports. The
Absolutely.
camaraderie, the community, and they took that from him. And I think that's wrong, because when you look at it statistically, the sacks, the all pro votes, the second team votes, the Pro Bowl votes, the Super Bowl championship,
Yeah.
the 85 Bears lost one time, and it was to the Dan Marino led Dolphins. So and then they just destroyed the Patriots in the Super Bowl. It wasn't even close. So the thing is you had the opportunity to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Same team, Devin Hester, great return man for the Bears. Probably the best kick and punt returner in modern football.
Hmm.
He's already in.
Yeah.
Why
I
the hell
agree with
couldn't you
you.
do that for Mongo?
Yeah.
And
Totally
the
agree.
fact that he had to be inducted from his bed. I mean, he's in his bed. He's in a hospital
No.
bed. And this is a
Look,
guy that everybody says is all man. And he unfortunately just he looked like a shell of his former self.
I mean, you don't want to take away from the accomplishment, but I get your point. The accomplishment was there years ago. Why did you wait? Because I will say this, optics are not good.
Mm-mm.
Optics are not good at all. It looks like you said, "Oh, well, let's this guy looks like he, could
He's
use
gonna
this or
die.
something."
Let's
Well,
just face
and
it, he
I don't
will.
like saying that, but yeah, and just to me, it just takes away from everything that you listed.
Right.
He wasn't just a um average player. He
No.
was Hall of Fame worthy. So
Elite.
I agree with you.
Elite.
But you know who
And
else is a Hall of Fame worthy?
please tell me, is it a
Oh,
Yankee?
that's what I was waiting for you to jump right in with that.
Yankee?
It's
Are we
all
gonna
the
talk about
Yankees.
the baseball?
Let's talk about the baseball.
First of all, Justin Yent does a fantastic job for the Ram
Yes.
Network. That's Wrestling and More for those of you playing along at home. But he does not ever call it the baseball. And I'm going to have to send him the clip from Schitt's Creek to remind him why we call it
The
the baseball.
baseball. Correct.
But after a rain a little late today, the Yankees pulled even with Baltimore. This is yet another series they took after having a god awful run the last 45 days. 67-46,
Wow.
6-4 in the last 10. They're even with Baltimore now, dead even for the East, second best record in the league. The man that me and Allison love to talk about. We've got a couple Yankees we're going to talk about today. Judge, 41 home runs, 321 batting average, 103 RBIs, 1.154 OPS. I was talking to one of my buddies, Paul Bromwell, the other day, and he used the word generational talent to describe Aaron Judge.
Ooh.
So he thinks that Aaron Judge is going to be a Mickey Mantle, a Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, a Babe Ruth,
Yeah.
and I mention all of them because they're Yankees. But Alison Judge, while the
Oof.
Yankees might have slowed down a little bit, he is on pace for 55 home runs.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think? What do you think of the state of the Yankees before we get to Torres and Volpe?
So this has been a really good week. This
Yeah,
week has reminded me of how much fun it could be to be a Yankees fan. Everything from like All-Star break to now, yeah, not so great. Uh, but they're not just hitting home runs; they're hitting power home runs right now.
471 was
Yeah,
it that I told you, or
yeah,
477? It went a
somewhere
long
around there.
way.
It went a very long way, but we're seeing that more consistently. I'm thinking, and now if we could just get the if we could just
The
get the
pitching.
pitching, yeah, to match the hitting, that would be
Well, I
awesome.
mean, when you've got to score 10 runs to beat the Yankees, it's a good day. I mean, it's a
Agree,
good day. On the
but
other hand, we don't want to be giving up 10 runs
there you
as the
go, or
Yankees do.
9 or 8,
And
or
Garrett
yeah.
Cole has not looked like the defending Cy Young Award winner yet. Um, Stroman got shelled the other night. Gill has been pretty good.
I was gonna say, how's your boy Gail doing? Yeah.
Gill has been pretty good. I was watching some videos on the Yes Network on the closer. He's the other white guy, but they don't want him to pitch more than one inning, and they actually think he should be the seventh guy. What's his? It's not
Who?
Schmidt. Somebody. He's the
Nestor?
guy that's not Nestor, but he's been the closer. He's the
Yeah,
white
you're
guy.
asking the wrong person.
Yeah,
I'm not good with
I'll look
names.
it up. But anyway, um, no, the Yankees pitching is what's suspect. But we're
Yeah,
in a we're in an era in baseball too where you don't see 1-0 games that end in the 13th inning or something.
true,
You know,
true.
and to his credit, I'm not even going to name his name. They played the Reds the other night. He threw a complete game finally. I forget. But anyway,
I'm sure Dave will correct us.
I am sucking at this, but he beat the Reds and he threw a complete game the other day. Um, and that was it's the Giants. It was the Giants pitcher.
Okay.
I had to think about it for a second. It was the Giants pitcher. But anyway, threw a complete game the other day. You don't even see that anymore. You don't
No.
see them allow them to be in the there's so much with the load management and all of that sort of stuff. I would almost think it's a little bit of a confidence killer when the manager comes and pulls you and says, "Hey, look, you pitched 5 innings, you struck
Yeah.
out 6 or 7, you've only walked one, you gave up a hit, but we're gonna pull you anyway. We got
Yeah.
to."
Oh.
It's like it's really not that bad, but you're gonna get yanked from the game, no pun intended. So I just think that the Yankees are doing the right thing. I still don't see them as the elite playoff team yet, though. And I know I picked Cleveland, and that offended you because Cleveland sucks.
Yeah, thank you.
But when I picked Cleveland, you know it and I do, the Yankees were just derailed.
Yeah.
And they got Giancarlo back. They're doing load management with him, though, too. He's in
True.
the DH position, and they're not playing him in the DH every game.
Nope.
They're using Judge. And that's the thing that I want to get to real quick. Glaber got benched last week or this past week. Yes Network, by the way, Allison's friends. Check them out because they are legit. Instagram, Facebook,
Yep.
social media. They get, and so you see this interaction with Boone and Glaber. And Glaber gave an explanation. He said, "I didn't hustle. I didn't play. It's my fault. The manager did the right thing." And the Yankees ended up losing that game. They may have got 3 against Toronto if he had hustled. And that's the thought.
Yeah.
So they replace him with Oswaldo. But here's the thing about the Yankees. They've got the new man we just got. Jazz. They got Jazz playing third. They've got Volpe playing shortstop. You've got Torres in second, but Oswaldo can also play second.
Mm-hmm.
And then the young guy playing for Rizzo at first. Rice. Ben Rice is playing first base. And then in the outfield, you've got both Soto and Judge and LeMahieu. So they've got a lot of weapons. They got a lot of really good players. They just don't have a lot of consistency right now.
Yeah.
The one consistent thing though is Aaron Judge. The other good thing is when you see the middle of the or the end of the order start to pick up, Volpe batting 270 right now, and he's got 12 home runs, but he's hit 3 of them in the last 3 weeks. So if Volpe heats up a little bit, he's the shortstop, 23-year-old baby. I mean, he's a baby in the league. I joke with Allison, he's the one you take home to mom, because he's that good Italian. He's the one you take home to mom, this little boy next door. But
agree.
Volpe, if he can keep hitting, because he's a 250 batter, but 280. That's a big deal.
Makes a big difference.
So, and then his defense is fantastic. So that's why he plays shortstop at 23 years old. But anyway, final thoughts on that. I know that was a lot on the Yankees because Terry's not here for the Braves. Dad is not here, so we're going to hit that real quick. It'll be 31 seconds. Yeah. But anyway, Allison, on the Yankees.
Final word on the Yankees. I'm hoping this is the start of the playoff push. So fingers crossed and keep hitting. I mean, honestly, that's all I can ask. And also, I'd like to echo Andrew and say, my Yes Network friends, you guys are doing a great job.
Amazing.
I love what you do.
I love
it. Especially the research team.
The Yankees games aren't always on. Right. So a lot of it I watch on the Yes Network because they're not on Hulu, or whatever all the time. But anyway, Yankees beat the Phillies, which is part of Terry's deal because the Braves and the Phillies are in the same league in the NL. Braves are heating up a little. Phillies are slipping. They've cut the lead to 5 in the NL East. 60-50, 6-4 in the last 10. They've got the 4th best record in the National League, and the Braves are currently occupying the top wild card spot. Good for them. You're welcome, Terry, for the help with the Yankees sweeping. That's right, sweeping the Phillies. The Phillies allowed, what was it? Almost 30 runs.
Yeah,
in 3 games.
Was a lot.
It was a lot, and 25 anyway. You can't do that. You cannot. And then they weren't returning the shots to the Yankees. So, Terry's right. He says it all the time. It doesn't matter how you play in May and June and July.
That's right.
It's how you play really in September and into October, particularly if you're in those playoff spots. So Dad is right again, even though he's not here. If his Braves can find some consistency, and one thing he did say in our group chat is that Jazz will push the other Yankee players to play better. He will make them earn their time. And I sent you that where Glaber's like, I have no intention of moving from third. That lasted 5 seconds. He's playing second now. So anyway, that's enough on the Yankees, I guess. But they will be back next week, as always, because that's God's team.
Let's talk about what went down last night.
I give a lot of thoughts on this, so you get to lead. You get to lead, honey.
Okay.
Summerslam.
I know you have a lot of thoughts, so I'm just going to hit my highlights.
Okay? Oh, no, I was saying I've given them already. So
okay.
You get to lead this.
I will happily do this. So, first and foremost, Judgment Day. It's news to me what happens from here on out. To me, they're done. Mm-hmm. You can't rebuild something that is broken like that because you've got Dom now split from Rhea. You've got Finn and Damian Priest. So let's go through it real quick. So Liv ended up beating Rhea only because there was interference with Dom. I mean, I think we all saw that coming. Yep. I think it was done really well. But his turn at the end after the match was over, I was like, well, if you were gonna blatantly turn, why were you like, oh, I didn't mean to hit, to hurt you. No, you did. Like, don't just be a man. But then again, this is Dom.
But the body language, the smirk, the smile, the Eddie Guerrero.
That's what I was going to say. The Eddie Guerrero smirk.
Eddie because Ray wore a mask.
Yeah.
But but the facial sells so well,
So
really, really well, and a great choice as an opener. We talked about this last night on the watch along.
well.
Really good choice for the opener to set the tone and give you the space necessary to get the other half of the story, which let's just jump to it.
Go ahead.
Damian Priest loses the world title to the man that is inevitable, as I call him, Gunther.
Yes.
But Allison's wrestling boyfriend,
Ex
sorry, Frankie,
wrestling boyfriend.
wrestling boyfriend,
Ex
uh,
ex
Finn Balor,
boyfriend. Well, he's
caused.
my ex because he got married. I have morals, so
Oh, that's true. And his wife is a very nice
she
person, from what
is.
I gather. Yeah.
So I let him have that.
Okay. Well, her ex-boyfriend was doing some nefarious
Oh,
shit last night.
shady. He was shady.
Shady shenanigans.
It was great.
Shenanigans.
I loved it. Now, what do I hope that means? I hope that means now we have a future feud between Damien and Finn, and we see the demon back. I would give my left arm for that.
Here's where I'm going to burst your bubble.
Oh, you stink.
The Demon was a character brought out in New Japan Pro Wrestling, as you know,
Mhm.
when he was the leader of the Bullet Club.
Mhm.
And there he played Carnage and Rampage, and they did the paint job, and it didn't matter. The only time Finn Balor has donned the paint in the WWE is as a babyface. He never has worn it as a heel.
Okay, that's very really a good point.
So,
Okay.
like I said, not to kill your buzz or
No, that's
harsh your
okay.
buzz on
But
this, but
facts help.
yeah,
Facts help.
it's. I don't know that you're going to get to see him now. What I would think would be cool is if, and this is just me because I love the artistic flair they use with him. Do it in purple because that's the Judgment Day color.
Oh, that's good.
Do like Carnage and Rampage instead of the red and black and black and white. Do it in purple and black or purple and white. And
Oh, Andrew, I think you nailed it. That's
so,
fantastic.
but I don't think they'll do it because the Demon is for the kids. You know, that's how WWE presented it.
I love that you say that because my kid hates it, can't stand it.
Yeah. But the Demon, you know, the whole
Yeah.
idea of being the character and stuff,
Mhm.
the T-shirts, the
Yeah.
merchandise, the wrestling figures, the games, the downloadable whatever in the video games because I don't play video games.
DLC.
Point being that's kind of what they're for. But anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked because
Nope.
this is your part of the show. My point was but Judgment Day's fractured, and we'll find out tomorrow how they put it back together. I honestly think Judgment Day is intact. You were just replacing Rhea with Liv, and Carlito's going to stay. And oh shoot, I want to call him Martinez.
No,
Damian Priest is out.
Oh,
Damian Priest is out.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So we had. I'm trying to think how many belt changes last night. 2, right?
3.
Three? Okay, so Gunther was one.
Gunther, and let's start there.
Yeah.
Gunther, Damian Priest. I said it last night on our watch along. Allison, in our chat, weigh in on this, guys. I think Gunther got the best match out of Priest as the champ. As the world champion, I think last night we got the best match that we've seen because unfortunately, Priest has had some issues in the matches he's had the defenses in. Because I mean, he couldn't help getting knocked out. Let's face it, he got knocked loopy last month, and then the slip on the rope where it looked like he almost ended it right there, bit it. So from that point of view, I call the ring general inevitable, but Gunther's reign is as first in NXT, the European or Britain champion, whatever they called him over there, and then him and Pete Dunne having those just outstanding matches before he rededicated himself, personal training. Then Gunther's Intercontinental run. Good grief. I mean, he was unmatched.
Yeah, there was no reason he would have lost last night, really.
Take the title off of him.
Yep.
The IC belt. I mean, he could have won it with the IC belt in tow, and it wouldn't have hurt Sami Zayn. But then you wouldn't have got Braun Breaker being made at SummerSlam.
So there's our second one: Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn.
Yep. And I thought it was a good match. But I didn't think there was any way out of putting that belt on Steiner, on Breaker.
To your point, the belt wasn't really doing anything for Sammy. He's had a belt. You know, he was a good opponent, though, to at least lose to
Yeah,
for
it's
Braun.
credibility.
So, absolutely.
And he beat him with his moves, his
Yes.
finish, clean. So it was a clean victory. There was no shenanigans. There was no belt shots. There were no low blows or anything like that. It was a clean victory. I am still amazed at a 260-pound man or 50-pound man jumps, runs the ropes, pause, Frankensteiner. It is absolutely ridiculous. Um, and I think that they did a really nice job with him because we all thought Toronto was it at Money in the Bank. I mean, there was no reason Sami Zayn won that match, except we got this one. And at SummerSlam in front of 58,000 people,
Yeah.
Braun Breaker was made. The
Yep.
ring general back to that point, Gunther was made. But Gunther's is almost anticlimactic because when I call it inevitable, all I mean is, what the hell else were you going to do?
Yeah.
You're really going to beat Gunther?
No.
I
Not at this stage. No.
No. And then, of course, talk about the women. We talked
Yes.
about Rhea and
Liv.
Liv. The title change. Nia Jax takes down Bailey. And we did not get Tiffy time. So
No. Well, we almost got Tiffy time.
almost got Tiffy time.
But
Her and
not
her
in the
partner all
way.
briefly.
Yeah, not in the way that I think we thought we were going to get it.
Mhm.
So I fully admit I thought Tiffy was going to turn on Nia. So I thought after Nia got the belt, I thought, okay, this is it. She tried once before,
Mhm.
and it didn't happen. So now my question is, where are we going?
Yeah, so I think you're going to see them paired together for a little bit, and you'll finally see a turn. That briefcase, as was pointed out in our group chat for the Ram Network, is already available on the WWE merchandise site. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
shop anymore or whatever because I don't go
Whatever.
there, but yeah,
Yep.
WWE shop or whatever. It's crazy.
It's a bright
Um,
pink Barbie
the
themed.
bright pink Barbie doll Tiffy time, baby.
Yep.
And then of course
Yes.
CM Punk,
Yep.
Drew McIntyre,
Yep.
that 7-month payoff
That was good.
that was clumsy. But go
Oh,
ahead.
I liked it.
Okay,
See,
you go first. You know.
Well, my thought was, okay, you knew something was going to happen in this match, right? What I didn't expect was the poor wrestling. Like, I did not see good wrestling in that match. I expected the shenanigans, which happened. They were great, wonderful. But the wrestling part of the match, nah.
Yeah, it was the heart and soul throwback where they did all the stuff with the Taker and Sean and Brett. So you know, the chair shot, the yelling, the everything. I think obviously this is continuation because you know the one thing about it is Punk hit a go to sleep on Rollins. I love you for that, Heather.
I knew you would.
We should be grateful for that. Yeah. Punk will get one more match at least. Walking to the
Yeah.
ring, he may hurt himself because he made fun of Kevin Nash one time for that same thing happening. But CM Punk hit the go to sleep, and then you see illogically Rollins almost unwilling to make the
Yeah.
count when Drew pins him, and I'm like, no. You should be happy to do that. He just put you down. But obviously we're getting a 3-way or something,
Yeah.
you know, of
That's what
that
she said.
sort. I just we talked about it on our post-game show last night. I really thought that Seth Rollins, his outfit was ridiculous, which is I'm all for it.
I was going to say, but we love that.
But when they like went to the outside and he just laid himself up on the turnbuckle, he's like, the hell with it. They're not going to listen to me anyway. I'll let them beat the crap out of each other, and I'll just sit right here.
All right, we are way over time, so let's.
Yeah, I apologize.
No,
but
it's all good.
I
This
will
is-
agree with you. Final thought.
No, so
The
we have one more
wrestling
match.
No, I'm saying the wrestling though the
Yeah.
wrestling moves in the match were a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, I agree.
thought. So we're over time, which is my fault
That's all
probably.
right. But let's
Tell
real
us
quick talk
about how we're going to throw the ones tonight.
Yeah, oh, we are throwing the ones. But before we do that, I would like to acknowledge the text message barrage that happened when we all saw Cody with Arn Anderson.
Yes.
So much love to you, Amy, but that was pretty exciting because none of us knew about it, and we
Nope.
were all just like, "Oh my
And,
god!"
and Arn's been out of WWE 5 years at this point,
Yeah,
so to see him on SummerSlam, pretty big deal.
pretty big.
Obviously, he was in town for WrestleCon, but still, the big deal. Cody
Yeah.
obviously has some flex there. Solo Sikoa, Cody Rhodes, Bloodline Rules match. And the reason for the Bloodline Rules match is because we had to get the Gaga in.
Correct.
The Gorilla, I mean, they had a pretty good match up to when the Gorillas of Destiny interfered. And what I mean by that is it was a good wrestling match up to. I don't think there
Yep.
was a lot of missed spots. Technically, it was pretty
No,
good.
it was pretty
Selling
good.
was good.
But it wasn't outstanding.
No, but
Like,
then you saw the God,
but
and of
yes,
course Tongaloa has to screw something up, which is his gimmick. If
such
you
a
watch
fan.
the internet and the Reddit, and then of course we get
We
here
get
comes Orton,
KO.
here
Well, we
comes
get KO. We get Randy,
Yeah.
and then the music hits, and it took a while for that crowd to quiet down. But man, when the what is it called? Original Tribal Chief, the OTC, showed
Yeah.
up, that place exploded.
Oh yeah, I throw the ones up. The one
ones.
because he's back.
That's right.
So Jacob comes out, hits a whisper in the wind, and it looks like Solo's going to win. And here comes Roman. Solo sells it like he's had cold water thrown on his face. Roman comes down, looks like he's going to hit Cody. Boom! Superman punch, spear. He let Cody live. And that's the story they need to tell. Family business first. And I let you live, Cody. And that's all it needs to be. And
Yep.
it's implied, I let you live.
Mm-hmm.
But the tribal chief is back. He's a baby face, guys.
Yes.
And the Civil War heating up and heading to November, heading to I guess it's British Columbia. It's going to be in Vancouver.
Yeah. Yep.
At
Vancouver.
the War Games. That's where we're going to see. And I hope the picture leaked of Fatu in a boot. I hope it's just a bruise or something like that where they want to keep him off of it a little bit. Somebody pointed out there's not crutches, so that's good. But again, that's a hell of a spot. A man that big, top rope to the table, and he caught his leg on that corner of that table. So anyway, great pay-per-view for me. Allison, let's wrap it up. Final thoughts.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with it being a little obvious, and we'll skip AEW this week, but I don't have a problem with it being a little obvious. Like, Gunther's going to win.
Right.
Braun's going to win. Roman's coming back. There are some folks that thought, well, we'd like some surprises or whatever. But I think they've done a nice job, as I call it, of hitting the Control-Alt-Delete button. Triple H has a nice set to play with now because he's got Gunther as the champ. Braun is the champ. Nia is the champ. There's some creative that he can do with this sort of thing. And he really hasn't missed. Now, your overall thoughts on the whole show?
So I put out a tweet at the end of the night or close to the end of the night that said Triple H's PLEs greater than Vince's pay-per-views. I have noticed that the overall, I'll call it composition of the PLEs lately have been phenomenal. There has been build every time, and good build, not just like a 2-week build, good build. And there's a story to move forward with afterwards.
And that was going to be my point. Every match had a story.
Yep.
Even if it wasn't a great story, there was still a story. But this isn't Vince Russo crash booking bad stories. This is, even if they didn't have, because obviously the Liv Rhea thing was really big, really big. And I think they could have done a little bit more cultivating Bayley and Nia, but they didn't. And that's okay. But going out of every match, you have a story too. And that is important when you're writing the soap opera we call professional wrestling.
Yeah, agreed.
The drama, if you will, baby.
Yeah.
But now we're going to get into some real drama because it's top 10 American Olympians. And
so
you want to qualify it, or do you want me to make the bad news?
No, you make the bad news, but I am going to say this is the first time we've done this without Terry, which means neither of us know what the top 10 is.
Oh, that's going to be, this is going to be excellent. Because, see, the gimmick, guys. You watch us long enough or listen to us. I never know. And that's part of the fun. Dad always knows. And Allison usually doesn't know unless they discuss it previous. But one thing one thing that we found ranking top 10 American Olympians, what criteria do you use? And we have left several out. For instance, the entire dream team, not on this list. We did not put a team on the list with the exception of beach volleyball. So dream team, not on the list. Obviously, women's basketball, not on the list. Cassius Clay, 1960, gold medalist in boxing before he went pro. Some of you know him as Muhammad Ali. Not on the list. And we stipulate he's arguably the greatest boxer of all time. And that's a whole nother discussion for another day.
Yep.
But when we put these lists together and we're using third-party data and information and we're consulting each other, I will be perfectly honest, and I knew Ali won a medal. It never even crossed my mind. It never even crossed. And I've watched his documentaries. I've read his books. Good friend of the show, Anthony Pyrus, pointed out, I said, Andrew, you guys left Ali off the list. I said, well, he got one medal. I said, but I get it because it was, again, dominating fashion. But all that being said, before we get into the show, because Allison's going to hit the button on me in a second, we want you all to participate because it helps shape and formulate this argument. Oh, wait a minute. Terry's going to be here in just a minute. So maybe we wait on Terry. I don't know.
No, let's go because we're late.
Should we go?
We're way behind. You and I talk too much. We need Terry to keep us from talking.
I talk too much. I know that, but I am just a fountain of information. Some days misinformation. Anyway.
All right, here we go.
Thank you. Ready? We appreciate your voting.
Yes.
Hopefully we all can find some positivity in this top 10. Allison,
here we
go.
Number 10. Number 10, Shaun White. I mean,
3-time Olympic gold medalist. Hard to argue. Made snowboarding popular.
5 times in the Olympics. Will we see him in 26 or did he retire? I think he retired.
No, that's not the Olympics.
On the top, it looks like those are the years of the Olympics, yeah. That he was in.
Oh yeah, they are. Never mind.
He's
Winter Games.
He's winner.
Yeah. So, and by the way, Tanya Harding did not make the list, and I'm offended. If we're going to do this,
nope.
Dad vetoed me and said, "What medal did she win?" I said, "Well, she would have won if it hadn't been for that awful Nancy Kerrigan."
So Shaun White is actually in Paris, enjoying the games with the Olympians, which I think is fantastic.
And he's a great ambassador for the sport.
Absolutely.
Obviously, snowboarding became very popularized with him. 16-year career in a high-risk sport.
Yep.
They're doing jumps, they're doing twists, they're doing moves. There's tears, there's falls, there's breaks. And a really good representative. Plus, we do know that we have a younger demographic on this show, so people are getting the modern ones. And Allison just hit the button, but that's okay because that's my man.
I didn't mean
Apollo Ono. Look at him. Look at him.
So he's a speed skater. This is like, I always call this sprinting on skates.
Yeah.
Because it's basically you're watching these guys and girls pretty much speed past you. And you're like, I'd fall if I tried.
Oh, so, it is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. The speed.
But look at him. 3 Olympics and he's got 8 medals. Like, that's insane.
Yeah. And he was always fun to watch because, somebody pointed it out in a meme or a video or something, whatever. They're like, I really get into sports I don't care about when the Olympics are on. And this is one of them. Like, you'll never catch me watching speed skating. But when Apollo Ono was a competitor, he was must-see TV. And, like, here in the United States, I'm sure most of our viewers and listeners know, they played all the best stuff. He was always on because they didn't play every single event or game or whatever. But when Apollo Ono came on, it was must-see television. And God, was he fast.
Yes.
God, was he fast on skates. Anyway.
All right. Number 8. Oh, my girls. Misty May and Carrie Walsh.
Beach volleyball. This was one of the exceptions, guys, to a team because let's face it. I mean, the dream team, we get they're all gold medalists. They're all Hall of Famers. They're all professional basketball players, whatever. But this team right here, they were very, very good. very good.
Absolutely.
Very well.
I used to play volleyball, so volleyball and beach volleyball are my favorite summer sports. And again, this is like to your point, Andrew. I don't watch this any other time. Like
Mm-mm.
I'd love to, but it's really not televised. I thought the two of them, and I mean, you could see here four Olympics, 3 goals. Like that's amazing. That's pretty freaking amazing. And watching these women as a well, all right, I wasn't that young, but still, as a younger me, I was like, this is athleticism at its best. I loved seeing women celebrated because women athletes sometimes not so much, but they dominated the sport, dominated.
Yeah, I did announcing for volleyball in college, and so we were Division three school at the university. I went to a private university in Northwest Iowa, Briarcliff University, but they weren't the great volleyball team, but we had several girls, big records, strikers. The libero was fantastic on defense. Um, by the way, because we haven't mentioned Nebraska today, number one in the country in volleyball,
Yeah,
and the team that put 93,000 people in Memorial Stadium last year for a volleyball game.
that's
So
insane.
that is insanity.
That's insane.
That is
I can't even
insanity.
imagine that. All
More on
right,
Nebraska next week because we're
let's
covering the
move
Big
on.
Ten.
Next,
Move on to
number
number 7.
7, Jesse
Jesse Owens.
Owens,
Yeah,
track and
there you
field.
go.
Now, I do not know much about Jesse Owens, and that's probably because he was an Olympian in 1936.
This is
Uh,
what Jesse Owens is most remembered for.
well, he won
Hitler
4
trots out
gold.
Hitler trots out the Nazis and
Oh,
believes that the Third Reich athletes are racially superior and thinks that they are going to just dominate the Olympics there in, was it Munich? Pretty sure it was
it
Munich
was probably
because
Munich.
Berlin was 72. Um, so the Munich games in 36, Jesse Owens comes out and just smokes the Nazi competitors, and they didn't have a chance. And by the way, it was a black man doing it for a team that legalized segregation until 1954 in this country. So,
Good point.
what an FU to Adolf Hitler. Like, legitimately.
Legit,
So,
yeah,
good for Jesse Owens. But yeah,
absolutely.
fantastic athlete. And like you said, Allison, 4 gold medals. And
Yeah,
can't
it's
argue with
crazy.
it.
Nope. All right, number 6. Oh, here's your boy, Greg
Greg Louganis.
Louganis for
Yes.
diving. Now,
Yeah.
here's the fun part. Most people remember him for something other than his Olympic.
Yeah, they remember him for being a gay male
No,
diver with
that's not where I
AIDS.
was going.
With
Isn't he
AIDS?
the one that? No, isn't he the one that hit his head?
He bled in the pool because he had
Yeah.
AIDS.
No,
Yes.
not because he had AIDS.
Well, not because he had AIDS, but he was worried about it because he had HIV.
Correct.
Yeah.
But he
I
was
said AIDS. That's the final stage
phenomenal.
of HIV.
That's all
You all
right.
know what I mean.
Yes. 4 gold, 1 silver in 3 Olympics. Again, pretty freaking amazing.
And church at Allison's house, from what I understand. We do
Yes.
not disparage Greg Louganis.
He was Greek,
Louganis.
okay? He was a Greek diving for the Americans. It's like perfect storm for us. So we
Mhm.
loved him.
And
All
a
right.
fantastic diver. Really revolutionized diving. I thought
Absolutely.
we had a young demographic, and now we got Mary Lou Retton, but she was
Hey,
on the Wheaties box.
number
So we'll give it to her.
5,
We'll give
Mary
it to her.
Lou Retton was and I'm going to say this, and people are going to come at me, and I'm fine with that. She was the Simone Biles before Simone Biles. Mary Lou Retton was the person you thought of when you thought of gymnastics in the 80s. She was it. She actually, and this is a surprising fact, she only was in 1 Olympics, 1984. She had 1 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze. 1 Olympics.
Incredible. And I joke about Mary Lou Retton in our age demographic because Mary Lou Retton won all those medals before I was even born. But you got put on the Wheaties box. That was a huge, huge, huge deal.
Agree.
And she was on the Wheaties box. And there weren't many women that graced the Wheaties box. No offense. That's the way it was.
No, that's the way it was.
Mary Lou Retton was on the Wheaties box.
Yep.
So legit. Now, the top 4 are probably where we're going to get into some shenanigans here with
All
our
right.
audience. Who do we got?
Number 4, Katie Ledecky. 4.
Nine gold medalists. Just
4.
smashed smashed the last medal by 10 seconds.
Yep.
I think everybody knows because I don't need to tell you all. 10 seconds in swimming in a race, it's a lot. It is a rout. Football terms, it's 70-0. Okay, I mean it's stupid.
Yep.
9 times though the gold medalist. Because that's not updated. We made the slide before she won the 9th one, and remember, as we talked about earlier in the show, consecutively 4 times in a row, the 800-meter winner, never done before,
Insane.
deserves the spot for sure.
Insane. All right, number 3, Carl Lewis.
Carl Lewis.
9-time gold medal winner.
Yeah. Really made men's track and field something to watch,
Absolutely.
Because I mean, like the must-see television. Again, we're going to focus on this particular event. Carl Lewis was somebody that you would see. And I mean, he went through
from
the LA
80s to
and
the 90s, so yeah.
I forget where 88 was, but Barcelona and Atlanta. So I mean, those are Olympics I remember.
Was one of those Seoul? No.
I don't remember. 84 was LA.
It might have been
92 is
Seoul,
Barcelona, 96 is Atlanta. I don't remember what 88 is.
It might have been Korea.
Might have been.
All right.
South Korea, of course.
Definitely well earned. So number 2,
there she is.
Simone Biles. I mean, again,
and that's 8 gold medals, I believe. Not
I don't
7.
need to. I don't think I need to say anything more about Simone Biles. She is women's gymnastics right now. Actually, let me change that. She is gymnastics right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
as much as we love Steven.
Well, and we do love the pommel horse and the Clark Kent, but he couldn't hold a candle to this woman. This woman has multiple gymnastics moves named after her that she created and invented as parts of her routine. She's innovative. She's powerful. She's strong. She's an excellent representative for the United States of America.
Totally agree. 100%. For those of you who are joining us now live at 9:00, we got started a little late, so we will be starting our football session in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So just letting y'all know. All right. Number 1. I'm pretty sure this is your guy. It kind of has to be your guy. It's your
There he is.
28
medals.
28 total.
Golds.
Yeah.
23 golds.
I'm speechless because legitimately there's nothing else I can say about this man that has.
And Mark Spitz did not make the list. And Spitz had 7 in 72 or whatever. It was silly.
Yep. Very good point.
But Michael Phelps, the greatest American Olympian, and look, we left some off the list. And think about gymnasts, Shannon Miller. Talk about a badass back in the day on the Magnificent Seven, Carrie Shrug, however you say her name, the one who did the vault with the broken ankle.
Yep, with the broken ankle.
I mean, that is legit. She did it. She vaulted and helped her team medal with a broken ankle.
Insane.
I'll never forget that because I watched it live and I remember, that. But what I watched live was Michael Phelps' domination of the sport of swimming. Absolutely. And it was so good. And Allison's going to run him down because that's her way of wrapping me up.
That's right. All right. So our top 10 American Olympians: number 10, Shaun White; number 9, Apollo Ono; number 8, Misty May and Kerry Walsh; number 7, Jesse Owens; number 6, Greg Louganis; number 5, Mary Lou Retton; number 4, Katie Ledecky; number 3, Carl Lewis; number 2, Simone Biles; and number 1, Michael Phelps.
Michael Phelps with a bullet.
All right. So,
and I think
Andrew, would you like to?
I mean, I think that's fantastic. Great participation this week, guys. We really do appreciate it.
Do you want to go through the RAM? What's coming up next, or
we're going to do it for the next? We're going to do it because we're going to get ready. We're going to take a break here in a minute. We're going to get to the ACC plus Notre Dame. Yeehaw! But on the RAM Network, our boys over there at FFP, that's Dave, that's TJ, that's Timmy. They're doing 1974, August of 1974. And I had to ask what something was, but Whitey Ford and Mickey Mantle to the Hall of Fame. No shocker there. CBGB, a nightclub in New York. That's what I had to ask about. Buford Pusser, they're going to cover. And they're doing Richard Nixon resigns from the presidency of the United States, August the 8th, 1974. Last day in office, August the 9th. Hot take. Nixon was a far better president than history remembers him as. And anybody that wants me to elaborate on that, it's at 30-year fan.
Good luck with
We
that.
will keep that off of here.
Yeah.
Talking wrestling with Palm Water Dave, Justin Davis, and of course, the lovely Amy Vaughn, who will be blushing as she talks about the Enforcer Arn Anderson this week. We'll be recapping SummerSlam. And there's a lot to talk about. Obviously, we do more than just wrestling on the Ram Network, but that is really their bread and butter there over on Talkin' Wrestling with Palm Water Dave. I was there. Episode 2 dropped. Our man Terry, Dad, as I've been calling him throughout this show, who is watching us but not jumping in. I got the text message. I paid attention. No, it's not part of the private chat. You know better. Just dropped episode 2 of I Was There. It was that shit show Bash at the Beach 2000. Hulk Hogan, Jeff Jarrett with the laydown, Booker T leaves with the title belt. You get to hear Dave and the HSV's perspective about it as he sat and watched it all unfold. Something that honestly, and Alison is watching wrestling as long as I have, nobody had ever seen anything quite like that. Even the Montreal Screwjob 3 years earlier was not the same thing. Dave and I also did Generations. This past week, we dropped the Go Home show for the Royal Rumble 1993. We will be doing a live watch along with the Ram Heads on the Ram Network to watch the Royal Rumble 93. Bret Hart versus Razor Ramon World Championship, 30-man Battle Royal Rumble. So there will be plenty to do there. And then the World Class Flashback, because it's just my gimmick. The Von Erichs are still fighting the Freebirds in 1983, and nothing else has changed. They also recorded a Memphis show, and the boys of FFP did a Wrestling with Commercials. And by special request, I got a Mentos commercial in there because it's the fresh breath freshener. So anyway, that's what we have going on. We are 2 legs of a 3-legged stool. Our man Terry is back. He'll be back for the second hour here on the ACC with Notre Dame. And we certainly appreciate y'all hanging for the first hour talking about the Olympics. Want to continue asking for your support. We don't know what we're covering next week, but we'll get there. It'll be on social. Somebody suggested top wrestling tag teams. So maybe it's time. Who knows? I don't know. Terry's the boss, so we'll ask Dad when he comes up and decides.
Nope, that's not
Allison just hit the button again.
No, I'm hitting buttons. She's
hitting buttons because it's time for me to go. Allison, final thoughts on this week's episode, man.
Final thoughts. So I didn't do a producer's piss this week because I'm on vacation, and guess what? The only thing I'm pissed about is all this damn rain because my kid wants to go on roller coasters.
Rain and humidity. Welcome to the South. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for hour 1. We'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes. And maybe we're bringing someone other than Terry with us. So we'll figure it out. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you.